Hi, welcome again to Body Language. My name is Edgar Champagne. This is the program that listens to your body and asks you, what is your body telling you? Could it be aches, some kind of a spasm or something? But your body is really talking to you. There's a language that only you can hear when your body talks to you. Today, my special guest is a personal friend of mine, Antonio Carter. And Antonio, I want to welcome you to the show, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Good. Well, we talked in January.
Yes, sir.
About the 10,000 pound challenge.
Correct.
And here we are.
Yes, sir.
Normally I have doctors on here and you have done something some doctors aren't able to do.
Awesome.
We have
That's a huge compliment.
a little later on in the program, we've got a before and after shot of you because
Yes,
at some juncture, we'll get into that, okay?
Yes, sir.
But give everybody a little background about where you are right now. What do you do?
Well, I work for Walmart actually, but
Okay.
I'm a community advocate, a civil rights activist, a speaker, a lecturer. And currently, I'm promoting the Lose 10,000 Pounds Columbus Challenge because over the past year, I've lost 150 pounds. I feel amazing, and it's a feeling that I want the entire Bi-City to experience. So what I'm doing right now is I'm pushing and I'm promoting the Lose 10,000 Pounds Columbus Challenge. That's
Beautiful.
my sole focus right now.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, you can see that he's got a lot of passion in
That's
what he
a fact.
says, but in his background, in his closet, there's a little activity that he used to do. Let's talk about your influence with the media. You were in the media at one point.
Absolutely. I used to do political talk radio for Archway Broadcasting many years ago. My partner, Robbie Watson, and I had a wonderful program.
Yeah.
And I love media, actually. It's something I'm hoping to get back into very soon. But yeah, I did media. I've done a lot of work in the community as far as advocating for youth and fighting crime and trying to make Columbus and Phoenix City a better place to live, play, and work. So I've been active for many years.
My special guest, Antonio Carter, right now on Body Language. So now give everybody an idea how they can get in touch with you with social media and website.
You can
or
reach
whatever.
me on Facebook at Antonio NineLives Carter. And the reason I say 9 lives is because God knows I've had just that many. I probably should have been dead many times. And you can also find me at the Lose 10,000 Pounds Columbus Challenge. It's a Facebook group where many people have joined. I think right now we have 600 and some odd participants. So that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, at one juncture in your life, your body was talking to you and it told you you were not attractive. It told you you were
me.
overweight, your self-esteem was
That's
down.
a fact.
What did you do about that? How did you overcome it?
I woke up on the morning of November 17th, 2018, and it had been 1 year to the day that I had lost my job, and my life was spiraling out of control. I was a mess of a man. I had lost my youngest son to prison. I was angry, indignant. I was lost. My businesses were failing. And I woke up that morning with the intention to commit suicide, just to be honest with you.
Joking.
I absolutely. And I walked into my bathroom and I set my pistol on the sink. And I turned and I looked at myself in the mirror and I just looked ridiculous. And it was the first time in probably 25 years that I could really see myself for what I was. My belly was hanging all over. I had breasts like women. And I just didn't look good at all. I had this dye on my face trying to cover up my gray hair. And I just looked in the mirror and I said, who are you? Who is this guy in the mirror? And a voice told me, you don't have to kill yourself. You can beat this. You can make it out of this. And I woke up the next morning at 5 a.m. and I have not stopped since.
Well, how did you get to that point? Was it because of drinking beer and putting on the pounds?
No. Basically, I was just eating I was an undisciplined man. I didn't have discipline in any area of my life. So I was eating constantly the bad foods. I was drinking soda, which is horrible for you. I just was not taking care of myself in any capacity, physically, spiritually, mentally. My mind was gone. I was just in a very bad place. And I'm so thankful that whatever worked it out for me. I will tell you this much. I met a wonderful woman who, as angry and loud and for all of the inner turmoil that was going on inside of me, she was cool, calm, collected, and she was a quiet storm. And she provided the atmosphere for me upon which I could think myself out of the mess. So I give her a lot of credit for where I am today because honestly, without her, I'm not sure I would be here today.
Is that lady a preacher or a psychiatrist
No,
or
she's
just a good
actually,
person?
I just would call her an extremely close friend of mine, whom I call my angel. I thank God for her, because without her, I'm just not sure Antonio Carter makes it to this point.
Are you sharing her or is she?
No, no, I'm not sharing her. I'd be happy to tell you all who she is. A lot
Yes.
of you all know her, but of course, she is a media personality also.
Okay.
So it's Felicia L. Hamilton.
Okay.
And she's been such a godsend for me. She's helped me through so much. And she just provided this atmosphere for me that was unbelievable. And she gave me the space to think myself out of this thing and to work my way through it. And she was there every step of the way to support me and guide me and help me and lead me. So I'm so thankful for her. I call her my angel, actually.
Yeah, she's a good person.
Yeah, she's a wonderful person.
I've been knowing her a long time, since the 90s over in Alabama.
person.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Good person. Well, okay, so let's go back to at that juncture when you put the pistol down and you met this woman. What were the steps to start maybe getting to where you are now? Because I think on the camera by now we should be showing a before and after, a photograph to be able to be cut. And by the way, if you look at this man, he's got ribs in his chest right now, in his stomach.
Abs, that's a fact.
And also, ladies, he's got ribs. So apparently he knows what he's doing. But let's talk about that.
That was the goal when I started, as a matter of fact. The goal was I wanted abs and what's called a V cut. And I promised myself that I would not stop, because I started weight loss many, many times. About a decade ago, I lost 80 pounds and I quit. And I put it all back on. But the first step for me was isolation, isolating myself from everything and everybody, all of the noise and all of the distractions around me. A lot of my friends thought I had fallen off the face of the map, and some of them took it personal because I wasn't calling, I wouldn't answer the telephone. This was so personal for me. I didn't post any pictures to Facebook until about a year in, because I didn't want to get caught up in people saying you look good. I just want, it was personal for me. It was not about anything that anybody else had to say. I wanted to save my own life. So I isolated myself. That was the first thing I did. I cut off my social media. I cut the telephone off. I stopped socializing, and I focused solely on losing the weight. I started to study a lot of great fitness instructors. I started to study a lot of great doctors. So I isolated myself, and I started to study what I needed to do to be successful in this process. So isolation was the first step for me.
And coming up as a young boy with your parents, did they tell you to do something like whenever you face problems? Or how did you elect to say, I need to cut everything off?
It was just the fact that I knew the noise around me was too much, and that I taking the time to assess myself and paying attention to what I had gotten caught up in over the years. Social media can be the devil. And it's fake, just to be honest with you. You have so many people on there posting so many things about what they're going to do. 3, 4, 5, 6 months to a year later, they're owning something else. You never see these things come to fruition, and you never see them finish anything. And I myself was caught up in that vicious cycle at one point. I was pretending that I was something that I was not, or I was going to do something and I would never finish these things. Just the mere fact of getting caught up in the intoxication of people saying, or people seeing what you say you're going to do. And I didn't want to fake the funk this time. I cut social media off. I meant that when I showed back up on social media, I was going to have accomplished something. Because to be honest with you, I had never really accomplished anything in my life. I had set out and started doing all of these things, and at some point, something would stop me.
Yeah.
And I promised myself this time, nothing would stop me from achieving the goal.
I'd like to beg to differ with you on accomplishing something. You had Ed Harbison and I scared when you had that talk show.
Really? That talk show was amazing. We did some great things.
We'll talk about that
But I
later
thank
on.
you all so much. You and Ed Harbison both have been great mentors for me. You, sir, I tell people this story about you. I tell Edgar Champagne used to motivate me. Every time he would see me, he would say, Antonio Carter, you should be a millionaire at least 3 times over.
That's what they tell me too.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're on Body Language with my special guest, Antonio Carter. We will be right back. We're going to delve more into the 10,000-pound Columbus Challenge. That's on the way. Stay with us. You're on Body Language at CTV Beam.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
And welcome back to CTV Beam with Edgar Champagne. You're on Body Language, the program that asks, what is your body telling you? It's got to be something. If you listen to it, it's trying to tell you something's going on. My guest right now is Antonio Carter. He's an activist, a prior media person about to get back in the media. Right now, Antonio has a program called the 10,000 Pound Columbus Challenge, where he wants people to get in shape like him. We've had a before and after photograph, and we'll put that back up in just a little bit and let you see how well he's doing. Now, we just got through talking about you had a pistol, you were thinking about letting yourself go. You're thinking about, and somehow or another, you mustered up enough encouragement and fortitude to be able to go forward.
Yes, sir.
Now, you also said that you read everything you could and
Yes,
you
sir.
studied everything you could.
Yes, sir.
What did you learn from those doctors about being able to get your body like it is right now?
Wow, I learned so much. One of the first things I learned was how important it is to cut sugar out of your diet. Sugar is very, very bad for us. And I found that out. It was one of the very first things I found out. And on December 31st of 2019, or 18 it may have been, 2018, I cut sugar from my diet cold turkey. I cut sodas, I cut candy. Anything that I found that was putting, more sugar in my blood, I cut it. And it was one of the best things I could have ever done. And it helped me lose a lot of the weight because actually your body stores sugar as fat. Mm-hmm. It'll put store as much in your liver as it can as glycogen. And your muscles will use that. And your cells will use that also. But sugar is stored as fat primarily.
What does that feel like, cutting this sugar, that cold turkey?
It was very, very difficult for the first 2 or 3 weeks, but after that, your body gets past the cravings, and then you get used to it. I was able to start walking in the grocery store and all the things that I used to, because at nighttime, I was sitting up and I would eat 2 or 3 king-size candy bars. I would drink a 2 liter of soda. I would eat a bag of chips. I would eat Waffle House. And what I found was that once you get off the sugar, your body will stop craving it. It'll stop after about a 2 or 3 week period. So I started walking in the grocery store, and after a few weeks or so, I was realizing that the things that I had to have, like the soda, didn't even bother. I have not drank a soda in over 1 solid year now. In over 1 solid year now, I have not drank a soda. So once you get past the cravings, your body will stop asking for it because it will produce a small amount of sugar itself for your brain. You don't have to add sugar into your diet.
That's one of the things you learn from reading and studying the doctors.
That is probably the most important thing I learned from studying doctors.
And
cut the sugar.
Before I go to the next question, what do you drink now?
I use a sugar substitute called Pure. Now, I drink mostly water, let me be clear. 99% of the time you'll find me drinking water. But if I have to have some taste, I'll make Kool-Aid with a sugar substitute called Pure, which is an organic stevia blend. It has a consistency very similar to sugar. But most of the time I drink water, and I've gotten used to that. I've always been a big water drinker, but whenever I needed taste in my mouth, I would go to soda. So I stopped doing soda. I have drank, on occasion, a diet soda. But I don't even know what sugar really tastes like anymore because I don't partake of it. I don't include it in my diet.
No honey, anything like that?
No honey, no sir. No. But I have used honey. I just don't use it much. I use it sparingly, maybe in tea and that kind of thing, but I don't use a lot of sugar at all. I just don't need it.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, so after reading and studying the doctors and the dietitians or whatever, and you cut the sugar out.
Which will also help you defeat insulin resistance, which is basically type 2 diabetes. It'll help you defeat insulin resistance because you keep pumping this sugar into your body, and of course your pancreas start pumping out all of this insulin. Well, at some point your cells start saying, yo, I can't take anymore. I cannot take anymore. And if you have a lot of back fat and a lot of belly fat, that's primarily insulin resistance. Your body is saying, oh, I can't do it anymore. If you get off the sugar, get off. If there's one thing, it is, I have what we call the 2.0 blueprint. The very first thing I teach anybody who's talking to me about losing weight, get off of the sugar. Getting off of the sugar will set you so far on the right track. And if you just cut the sugar out of your diet, you'll probably lose 15 or 20 pounds in a year just by doing that.
Well, my guest right now, Antonio Carter, with the 10,000 pound Columbus Challenge. What is the, what is the energy, what is the believability to get the persistence and convince yourself that you don't need sugar, that you can maintain this particular program that you get into?
Listen, this
How do
is
you do
simple.
that?
The body follows the mind. And that's the bottom line. The body follows the mind, and it's going to do whatever you tell it to do. You have to make the conscious decision that you want to live, you want to be better, you want to be healthier. And I am telling you that there is absolutely no way that a Coca-Cola can defeat the human spirit or will. A candy bar cannot defeat the human spirit or human will. If you tell that candy bar, I refuse to eat you. If you tell a can of soda or soda pop, I refuse to drink you. I got to the point that I would do this. Sometimes I would come home and a family member would have soda or something sitting on the counter. Do you know what I would do with it? I would immediately take it, open it up, and pour it down the sink and throw the bottle or can in the garbage. And I would say, now it's down the drain. It can't tempt me anymore. And that you have to get that kind of discipline and control over your life, where if you know there's something in your house that's tempting you, throw it in the garbage, drop it. And whenever you have that craving, it's not there for you to eat anymore. It's not there for you to drink anymore. And I promise you this much. For everything that you are eating that is unhealthy, there is a healthier option or substitute that will taste just as good as what you're eating or drinking, and that's killing you. And that's one of the things I've been able to do. I study all of these different substitutes for things. White flour, not good for you. Basically nothing but your body refined carbohydrate that your body is going to turn into sugar and store as fat. You can use almond flour. There are all other kind of flours out there that you can bake with that will not raise your blood sugar. So there are so many different substitutes out there. All you have to, where there's a will, there's an A. You can get an A for effort just by taking the time. This is the information age. I'm telling you, YouTube is a university. It's a school for free.
Yeah.
It's a university that you don't even have to pay for. Some of the greatest doctors and teachers and lecturers are on YouTube giving the game up for free.
Yeah.
You just got to want it bad enough to go and get the information. And that's what I did. That simple.
I see. Well, we're going to take a break in just a minute, but I want to talk about last Saturday. You had after the new year broke,
Yes, sir.
you had your first meeting with the 10,000
I
pound
did,
challenge.
yes, sir.
There was a gentleman there talking about your numbers.
Yes, sir.
Briefly, tell us about the numbers.
Basically, your numbers are extremely important, and what they consist of is what is your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of energy your body burns at rest. And it's a culmination of how much body fat you have and how much muscle you have. Of course, your muscle burns more calorie at rest because it takes more to support muscle than it does fat. So these numbers are extremely important because they tell us what's going on with our body. And we need to know how much muscle mass we have. We need to know how much body fat we have. And the key here is your BMR. Knowing how much energy your body uses at rest, because once we know that, we can factor in everything else, because the only way to lose weight is to be in a caloric deficit. And that's a fact. There are a lot of different diets, the Atkinson's diet, the keto diet, the this diet, the that diet. It all boils down to one thing. Can you get your body into a caloric deficit? It is the only way to lose weight, be in a caloric deficit.
Mm-hmm. You're watching Body Language with Edgar Champagne. My special guest is a personal friend of mine, Antonio Carter. We're going to find out more about your numbers, and we're going to find out how he's actually maintaining this physique that he's got right now. You're on Body Language with Edgar Champagne at CTV Being. More after this.
Body language. Without saying a word, it can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment, and that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
You're on Body Language with Edgar Champagne, CTV Beam. Thank you for joining us. My special guest is Antonio Carter, a very personal friend of mine. We're talking about the 10,000-pound challenge in Columbus. It just kicked off in the new year. It's 2020. Antonio.
Yes, sir.
At the library,
Yes,
there
sir.
was a gentleman by the name of Tyler Evans.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
about him and what does he do?
Tyler is with Southern Nutrition Columbus out on Whittlesey Boulevard, and they are a weight loss center and a supplement center for people who are actually trying to lose weight, and they've been very instrumental in my process. I was able to go there, and they have this machine called the InBody scan machine. And basically what you do is you take your shoes off and you stand on this machine, and it scans your entire body, and it tells you what your bone density is. It tells you how much fat you have in terms of body percentage. It tells you how much muscle mass you have. It tells you all of these wonderful things that you can use to lose the weight. And Tyler is basically the manager of that facility. And if you're serious about losing weight, I'm telling you, going to get those numbers will change your life. And what they will do is actually, after you get those numbers, they'll sit down and talk to you about them and help you break them down and help you understand what they mean. And they'll give you what we call your macros. And basically, they'll tell you how much weight you need to lose based on your height and all of those things. And then they'll give you what we call your macros, which is your protein, your carbohydrate, and your fat intake on a daily basis. And they'll give you some targets upon which to hit. And basically what you do is you start working on those numbers. And I promise you, if you stay dedicated and consistent, you cannot help but lose weight once you get these numbers.
And so Southern Nutrition is
Yes,
one
sir.
of your sponsors.
It is absolutely one of our sponsors. And I'm telling you, this is a great place. They have all of the best supplements that you need, the proteins, the pre-workouts, thermogenics, multivitamins, protein bars, all of the things that you need to get healthy and stay consistent with your workout and your diet plan. Southern Nutrition Columbus out on Whittlesey Boulevard is the place that you want to go.
Okay. Well, let's get back into the 10,000-pound
Yes,
challenge.
sir.
Now, how is it coming along, and what is actually going with
I
it?
am absolutely ecstatic and excited. So many people have joined the group, and they are active, and that's the most important thing to me. We had about 65 people turn out at the library for me to lecture on exactly what the 2.0 blueprint is, which is the system I've created upon which I lost the weight after a year of studying. This is basically the process that I use to lose the weight, and I'm giving it away for free to anybody who will go and join the group. The Lose 10,000 Pounds Challenge, the Lose 10,000 Pounds Columbus Challenge. I'm giving it away for free. And again, I'm just excited. So many people have signed up. So many people are active. So many people are engaged. And this, basically, I just want to pay it forward. I want to see people live. I want them to know what it feels like to lose 150 pounds or whatever your goal is. I want you to know what it feels like to go from a 52 waist to a 36, to go from a fat boy with a belly that's all the way out here to now having abs. I want people to experience this. It's the best feeling in the world. I remember I used to have this knee pain, body language. You're talking about your body talking to you. I used to have this knee pain carrying all of this weight. I have so much vitality now, so much energy, so much strength. And what I have learned about myself is this: there is nothing that I cannot do. 1 year solid, I've been doing this. There is nothing I cannot do. Up at 5 o'clock in the morning, whether I feel like it or not, I'm in the gym because I committed myself to the process. So what I found here is anything that I set my mind on and I get focused on, I can accomplish. I laugh at impossible. So the Lose 10,000 Pounds Challenge is a great place for you to start if you want to lose weight. Collectively, all the members in the group, those that are active and engaged, I'm hoping over a 120-day period, we're trying to lose 10,000 pounds collectively. I need you to get in the group. I need you to get dedicated. I need you to work hard. We need your numbers to meet this 10,000 pound goal. And I hope if you really for once want to lose the weight in 2020, you have no excuse, because I'm going to give you the blueprint. I'm going to tell you how I did it. I'm going to be there every morning coaching you every step of the way. I'm going to tell you what to eat, when to eat it, when not to eat it, how to work out. I'm going to give you all of the information. You have no reason this year to not lose the weight.
Is that expensive?
It is not expensive. It's free.
I'm
It's
talking
free.
about the way you eat.
Oh, no. It's not expensive at all. In fact, it can be much cheaper to eat healthier than it can to do fast food and all of the things that kill you. It is not expensive to eat healthy.
Let me ask you a question then. All right. Well, I heard you say, well, up at 5 o'clock and you're in the gym.
Yes, sir.
Well, from my experience, my brother up in Atlanta is a dentist, and we need to do 50 push-ups every day. He's challenging his brothers, right? And so I get down there and I get to 8, and I'm thinking, gee, I'm maxed out here.
Let me ask you something.
How do you overcome that thing, this little voice saying, well, you're done, you can't do anymore. Right. What do you overcome that?
See, you can do 8 push-ups nonstop, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. If you did 8 push-ups and you were maxed out, you couldn't do another one. But if you waited 5 minutes, how many more could you do after 5 minutes of waiting?
Maybe another 5 or 6.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So the idea here is, you know how this building we're in, you know how they built this building?
Steps.
They built it 1 brick at a time. And what we do is we want instant gratification sometimes. We want to be able to do it so fast, but you know what? If you just did it brick by brick, if you did 8, waited 10 minutes, did 8 more, waited 10 minutes, did 8 more, waited 10 minutes, did 10, wait 5 more minutes. You may not be able to do everything, but when you're committed and you're serious, do what you can. Wait a few minutes, do more. Just commit yourself to the process. And so many of us, the pain stops us because we'll go in the gym and we'll start working out. The first time we get a little ache or a little pain over here, we say, oh, I can't do this anymore. But what if you just wait a couple of days? Give your body some time to recover. Then go back and do it again. The body is amazing. This God fella that designed us, I'm telling you, he's something else. The body is resilient. You cannot break it. All you have to do is get dedicated and commit yourself. That's okay. Just start somewhere. Just commit yourself to cleaning up the neglect. And if you cannot do 50 push-ups at one time, do the 8 that you can. Wait 5 minutes. Do 5 more. Do 3 more. Just listen. Be consistent and work. Just be consistent, and there are no excuses. Do what you can do. Yeah. And it's just that simple.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick is how you listen.
Day by day.
Day by day. When I first got on the Stairmaster, I could only do 2 or 3 minutes. Do you know how long I walked this morning? I walked 61 minutes on the Stairmaster. 61 minutes. And I couldn't do that a year ago. But I took it step by step by step. Even on the days when it didn't look like I was making any progress. I'm in the gym at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm looking out and there's nobody in there by myself. And I'm still a fat boy. I'm talking to myself saying, it's going to work, Antonio. It's going to work, Antonio. Don't you quit. Stay consistent. It's going to work, Antonio. And I woke up 6 months later, I had lost 147 pounds. The goal I wrote down, I opened up one of my goal books about 6 months ago. The number 1 goal was to lose 75 pounds and get into the best shape of my life. I looked up in 6 months and I had worked so hard, I had lost 147 pounds in a 6-month period.
My goodness. How do they get in touch with you?
You can reach me on Facebook, Antonio 9Lives Carter, or you can search the group Lose 10,000 Pounds Columbus Challenge, and that's where you can find me.
My special guest, Antonio Carter, he's going to be back next week. We'll tape another show with him and get into the 2.0 blueprint, how he maintains it, how he got there. That's coming up on Body Language at CTV Beam. I'm Edgar Champagne. Thank you for looking and viewing us. We'll see you next week.